Hi, it's Teresa from Lost in Paper, and I'm so excited to be doing a collaboration video with Olga today. And the theme that we're both doing is water lilies. So I've chosen to use the Altenew Lotus stamp set, and I have the matching dies as well. And I'm going to be doing some Copic colouring. So I better get started, I've got heaps to do. So I've already stamped out my images on some scraps of white cardstock, and I used the Memento Tuxedo Black because I know that works really well with Copic markers. And for these leaf images I did decide to add my highlights first, so I'll have all the colours listed at my blog, but otherwise you should be able to see most of them sort of off to the side there, and the numbers of the caps will let you know which colours I'm using. I've come in with my darker colour, added that, and then sort of blended it back with the lighter colour again. So by adding the highlight first, it just kind of triggers my memory where I want the highlight on the leaf to be. So it just gets rid of any sharp edges. By coming back in with my lighter colour again, it just helps the colours blend. I try not to take it all the way over to the edge where the dark colour was, because it will actually remove colour and then I'll be just wasting my time. And I don't know about you, but when I'm colouring an image, sort of the first time I colour it is always not the hardest, but you know, you kind of learn an image as you colour it, and I colour like quite a few of these leaves on this card alone. So by the time I finish colouring this lotus leaf, I got it down pat and I can colour it really quickly. But obviously the first time that I colour it, slow, and I take my time and I'm learning the image. I don't know if you're the same. So this is one of the small leaves. I did decide to add one of these as well. I have actually stamped out more images than what I need. I find that if I have them all there ready to go, then I can play around with my design, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with my card yet. I'm not making it up. Well, I am making it up, but I don't know, do your cards evolve? It seems like that's what tends to happen with mine, and it's much easier to have more images than what I need ready to go, and then I don't have to come back, restamp and colour, because if I have to do that, it actually feels like hard work then. But while I'm colouring, I'm on a roll and I'm good to go. So I'm using the BV family here for my lotus flower, and I don't normally colour the whole image first. I did actually on this one. I don't know why I did that. Normally I would only colour in Copics in sections, but for some reason I came in with the lighter colour and sort of feathered it out on each of the petals, and then came in with the darker colour. And I just found that it wasn't light enough initially, so the way that I kind of fixed that was to come in with my colourless blender, or the 0 marker, and actually remove some of the colour, and that's exactly what it does, and that just gives me the highlights on those petals. Now I'm being really bold here. I have got the BV04, I think, and I am bringing that in into some of the where I think the really deep shadows of this flower are going to be. It really does add a lot of depth to your image, just to take it that little step further and add some darker colour. I know it's hard to do, it's a bit scary at times, but you know, that's what the 0 blender's for. You can always make your flowers darker, and like I said, it evolves. The little bud that I've coloured, I pretty much did exactly the same. It's a little bit darker, but then with flowers, when they are buds, they do seem a little bit darker. It's when they open out that they kind of lighten up. Well, that's my theory anyway. And I'm using the same greens there on the around the bud, the base of the bud. All right, here I am lining up my dies, and when I stamped out my images, I made sure that I had enough space in between my images to run 2 through the die cutting machine at the same time. So that just is a bit of a time saver. If you stamp your images too close, then you can't actually sit the dies up against each other, and it means you've got a kind of, you know, it all just saves time when you're creating. And I did the same thing with the flowers, and then it just leaves a really small white border on these flowers and leaves. So there is no matching die for the stem. So when I fussy cut the stem out, I just left sort of the equivalent border around there. And the other thing I do with the stems is actually leave some paper or cardstock at the very top. That way I can come along and attach it to my leaf and flower images later on, and just with a bit of adhesive it'll hold. It's great. Alright, so now I did actually colour some more images and cut them out, but I didn't bother showing you all of those because it's exactly the same image that I was colouring. But now I'm working on the front of my card, and I have actually stamped a couple. It's not the front of my card, it's a panel that's cut the same as the front of my card, and I've stamped and coloured another 2 of the leaf images directly onto this panel. And now I've got some post-it tape that I've die cut through the same through my die cutting machine, and I'm just using that as a mask. It's a great way to create a mask. I didn't have to muck around because I wanted to use these spatters, and I didn't want the actual leaves to be spattered. The stems didn't worry me, but it was the leaves. I didn't want any of that spattered ink on there. Now that's one of the shimmer ones from Altenew, which is the Lavender Fields, and this is Mr. Huey's. It's an older ink spray. It's a silver one. And then when that's dry, I can just remove my post-it notes. How easy is that? Alright, now I can adhere my panel to the card front, and the reason I didn't colour directly on my card front is that I know that the Copic markers are going to show through that cardstock, and so does the paint spatters, and I didn't want that to happen, so that's why I did it on a separate piece of cardstock, and then I could just attach it straight to the card front. I'm joining up all of the stems now to the leaves and the flowers, just using my stamp runner. I'm so disheartened that this stamp runner is no longer available. But anyway, popping up all my flower images and adhering them into place on the front of the card, all at different sort of levels. I'm so excited to be doing this collab with Olga today. She has a blog called Building Your World, and her YouTube channel, she has the most amazing videos. You need to head over and check them out. She's incredible, and uses her focus is on die cuts, and that's really why I wanted to use the die cuts on my card today, just to sort of show that I can use die cuts too. Not quite as fancy as she does, but you know, she does the most amazing videos, and I will link to her video where she is also focusing on water lilies at the end of my video today. So I'm so excited to be doing this collab with her. Now, I don't know if you've used much purple in your cards, but it's one of the hardest colours to match. So what I decided to do today was actually create my own design paper, and I've made it sort of ombre, and I've used the same Copic markers that I used for my flowers, so I know it's going to match perfectly. And then I've white heat embossed a sentiment from the Sentiments and Quotes set, which is also an Altenew stamp set, and then I can just pop that up on top of my card with a couple of layers of foam tape. And as a final touch, I have added some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that you've had some fun, and that you head on over to Olga's YouTube channel and watch what she's created. I know it'll be amazing. I can't wait to see. So till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.